Hey there everybody, PTPOP here with all four lobes of my brain securely bound behind my back. And today I'm going to play you some very real reactions from actual call center workers to illustrate and show you how completely stressful and depressing call center life really is. And I'm going to jump right into it here. So I'm just chilling here like a villain. And I recorded some videos here. I'm going to start off with this one. Some of these are pretty emotional. So let's start off with this young lady. These are all videos I took off of TikTok. These are not my creations. I'm strictly using them for commentary purposes only. So here we go.
It's crazy how people so early in the morning are ready to just argue with you.
Look, she's crying. I mean, working in a call center, man, I have never been brought to tears. Because actually I kind of found it funny when people would call me a pickle sucker and things like that. You know, they don't know me. They don't know my sexual preferences or what my mother did when she was alive and all that stuff. But some people really can't take it, and they shouldn't be working in a call center. This lady's really torn up. And especially early in the morning, people are probably just getting ready for work, and they call into a call center for some reason. They think they're going to get through right away and talk to somebody really fast, but they can't get through that quickly. Or they're driving to work, they're in traffic, they're frustrated because they got to go to work, and they're calling about their bill, their bank bill, or whatever.
It's like so frustrating. It's like strangers that you don't even know, and they're just ready to argue with you and scream in your ear and call your names and stuff.
Don't you feel for her? I feel for her. I've been there. You know, like I said, I haven't been brought to tears, but I've been around people that just can't take it. You know, there was a woman I worked with at Verizon Wireless. We went to training together. We got on the floor. She was doing really good in the phones. And then one day she just wasn't there. And I couldn't figure out why. She was great. Everybody liked her, and she got on the phones. And we used to shop at this, it wasn't a liquor store. It was called, I think it was called Wine and More. It was this big giant like warehouse of liquor and wine out in Arizona. And she was a cashier there. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And she was like, oh, I couldn't handle the customers. I just couldn't handle it. And she quit after like 3 months. She was gone. It's extremely stressful. So this one is a lady who's being very rude in this call center up. She's working from home, and she has to disconnect the call because they're being so rude.
Married for 50 plus years. Unfortunately, no one is listed on his HIPAA form or the protected health information. There is no authorized users on the account, so I wouldn't be able to get into the account to assist you.
And so if you don't have an authorized user on any account and you're talking to somebody who isn't listed on the account, you can't divulge any information in the account. And when you call into a call center, or when somebody calls into a call center, they think because they're married to somebody, like if my wife had an account that my name wasn't on and I called to talk about it, they wouldn't talk to me because it's not my account. I don't have any legal right to look at my wife's stuff if my name is not on it as an authorized signer or as an authorized user. And people don't get that. People really don't get it. Or they're calling in to try to get information, or they're trying to bully you to get information because they're trying to be sneaky or trying to find out stuff about their spouse or their friends, things like that.
No. Right. So I know that there are some things, I guess, that will automatically give the spouse rights to whatever. But in this situation, that's just not how it works. Unfortunately, we do have to have written permission.
So yeah, you have to have written permission. So if you're married and you call in to talk to somebody at a institution about one of your spouse's accounts that you don't have any right to look at, they're not going to let you into it. No matter how much you shit, scream, and cry, they'll never let you into it unless your spouse gives written authority for you to do that, and goes into the bank branch or goes to whatever you're trying to do, and gets your signature on file with her signature on file where she says she approves of you being on that account.
So on September, I'm going by the posted dates again. So September 9th, you have the deduction from Macy's for $126.49. Then on September 10th, you have the credit back for $126.49 from Macy's.
So this is a bank or a credit card, and the customer went into Macy's and made a purchase, which is a debit, which is a minus sign, or it'll be in parentheses, a minus sign or a parentheses showing that it was a debit or taken away from the account. And then when the money went back in this person's account, it zeroed the transaction out. So because a negative and a positive equals 0. So if you have negative $10 and then you add $10 back in, it equals 0. It zeroes out the transaction, and I can't begin to tell you how many thousands of times I try to tell people over the phone this very thing, and people just don't understand basic math. They don't understand just basic math. They don't understand, and they think they're being ripped off, and this is what's happening to this call center rep here.
So also ended up giving the credit for $126.49. And then it wasn't until the 16th that we realized that you had already gotten the credit from Macy's, so now they're taking...
So I'm incorrect here. So what's happening is they had a charge. They got a credit of $126.49 from the bank, and then Macy's gave them a credit for $126.49. So they got 2 credits, but they only deserved 1. So the bank took their credit back, leaving Macy's there with zeroed out the transaction. So the customer thinks they're entitled to 2 credits, which I don't know what mathematical world these people are living in, but it's an interesting one.
Their credit back today. So you still have your credit from Macy's, but the one that we gave, that would be like double credit. So we're taking ours back because we see the merchant did their part. They did on September 10th.
And unfortunately, we can't hear the other side of the conversation, but I can already tell you that this person is just definitely confused. They have no idea why they're not getting double credits. And this is how corporations take advantage of the general public. Most of the people out there are naive, uneducated, and don't understand basic mathematical principles, so they get confused. Like there's another guy here on YouTube that had his buddy on talking about real estate, and his buddy was I can understand why his buddy was a former realtor, because his realtor said people can never pay off their houses because the interest they pay in a mortgage is compounded interest, and it's not. Interest is simple interest in a mortgage. You're paying more into the interest at the beginning, less at the end. You're paying less into the principal balance at the beginning, more at the end. So it's designed as amortized, so you pay it off within a certain amount of time. But this guy who was trying to educate people on YouTube about mortgages and the housing market was completely wrong, and he didn't even understand what he was talking about, nor did his friend who was a real estate agent. Your average person doesn't even know what they're getting involved in when they get a credit card, a car loan, a home loan. They don't understand it. They don't understand anything behind it. And if you don't, they could take advantage of you. You get up to your earballs in debt, and before you know it, you're bankrupt and you're out in the street.
Yes. Well, that's what I thought you were looking at, was the app.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to keep this professional.
Yeah, well, I understand she's being bitched at. She's probably being called a pickle sucker, and the tone of her voice is unprofessional, and that would infuriate me too. Because if I'm sitting there mad already, and somebody's like, "Well, you have to keep this professional," I'd be like, "Fuck you," I'd be just like, I just go fuck it off on these people. This is where I think she needs coaching. I really mean that, because she really, even though she's being insulted and offended, she really has to maintain a professional voice, and her voice is condescending and just like a bitchy sounding.
Because no one likes it when you call them names. And it's not going to get you very far. Right. No, I see that the payment has been made. However, we cannot... If you keep cussing me out, I'm going to end the call.
And that doesn't do any good either. I'm kind of torn when I think about this. When they said you can't disconnect the calls, they're not doing to torture us, but I can kind of see it's going to even escalate it even more. If you hang up somebody who's already mad, and that'll even make them more furious, and who knows what they'll do. If they'll come down there and threaten violence or whatever, you just don't know what psychos will do today. And she's escalating the call. If I was a supervisor, I would coach her on this one.
As my first warning for you. Alright, so due to no productivity of the call, I will end it. Have a nice day.
Auf Wiedersehen, baby. Hasta la vista.
No.
Okay, let's see what this one is.
Hello?
This is a real call by a sales savage. I don't know if... I think this is kind of a reenactment, but I'm not positive. It seems kind of like he's mimicking or he's mouthing the words.
Hi, James. This is Ryan from... How you doing this morning?
Yeah. It's a I think a real call, but he's acting it out now like he's really taking the call in a call center.
Don't call me again. Don't call this number. Go home to whoever you live with.
Go home to whoever you live with.
Stay there, but don't call me no more.
Hey, James, are you still in real estate? I was just checking out your social media sites.
I don't need you.
See, he didn't even recognize him. This is, I think a lot of us in call centers bring on some of the stuff on ourselves, bring it onto ourselves. By the way, we don't acknowledge the customer, we don't empathize, and we don't listen to what they're saying. This guy's obviously not wanting to talk to you, and you're not going to get the sale. There's no way you're going to get the sale.
Activity.
I don't need you checking on me. If I need somebody to check on me, I'd call. I don't need somebody to babysit me. You understand that, boy?
Hey, I understand that, boy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if this guy's in Texas or what, but when I worked at Wells Fargo, I was living in Arizona. We got a lot of our calls came in from Texas. Ooh, the good old boys from Texas to call you in a call center. Good Lord, man. Sound just like this. And they don't mess around. I would not mess with Texas.
All right, well, then hang up the phone and don't call me no more. Don't call me no more.
James, I just want to make sure you
hang up the phone. Don't call me no more.
What are you doing to stay in
Hang up the phone. Don't call me no more. Hang up the phone. Don't call me no more.
Hey, James.
Hang up the phone. Don't call me no more. Hang up the phone. Don't call me no more. Hang up the phone. Don't call me no more. Hang up the phone. Don't call me no more.
Are you familiar with...
Hang up the phone. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more.
Hey, man, you're
hang up the phone. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more.
Not
don't call me no more. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more.
So what I'm seeing...
Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more.
Good Lord, and this is a real call. I'm pretty sure this is real. Why, as a sales rep, would you continue this call? Why? You'll never get the sale. You're making an enemy out of this guy. He's going to tell everybody that your company is a bunch of idiots. Yeah, I would counsel this guy too if I was a coach. This guy really dropped the ball on this, and he's probably just doing it just to irritate this guy. He's antagonizing him.
Don't call me no more! Don't call me no more! Don't call me no more! Don't call me no more!
You having fun, James?
Don't call me no more! Don't call
Are you having fun? Damn.
me no more! Don't call me no more!
He laughs at him. He laughs at him.
James, when should I call you back?
I'm taking up your time. You ain't taking up mine. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more.
Dude, that's fine.
Don't call me no more. 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 Don't call me no more.
So call you tomorrow?
Don't call this number no more. Don't call this
Yeah, he's just antagonizing him now.
For calling, this is Noah speaking. Can I start the call off by getting your first and last name, last four of social, and your full date of birth?
I have to give you all of that right now?
Yes, ma'am. In order for me to identify you over the phone, I would need all that information.
Now, I don't know if this is a real call, but this is just what goes on. People don't want to give you their personal information. They don't want to give you your date of birth. Even though they've called you, they don't want to identify their date of birth, social security number, their address, any of that stuff. They think you're going to steal it. Little do they know that all that stuff is already on the internet.
Fine. I mean, this is time sensitive, but Susie James, February 2nd, 1989. And what was it? Social Security?
Last four social, yes, ma'am.
9946.
So this is a reenactment. This isn't real.
Thank you, Mrs. James. And how could I be of assistance today?
Well, I have a car payment coming out tonight, and if you guys let it go through, I'll be charged $30.
So you authorized a car payment for tonight, and you don't have enough money in your account for it to go through?
I didn't authorize anything.
Oh, Lord. This is what I'm talking about. People don't understand car notes. They don't understand mortgages. They don't understand their credit cards. They don't understand how to add and subtract. They couldn't add and subtract if they took off their shoes, used their fingers and toes. It's impossible for these people to conceptualize math, basic math and accounting.
Did you set up the automatic payment?
I mean, yes, but I can't pay it today.
Okay.
And even though this is probably a reenactment, this is exactly what happens. People sign a contract with a car dealer, and they authorize the dealer or the bank that they're working with through the dealership to take your car payment out electronically at the same time every month. And it says in all the writing, you agree to this, and even though you don't have the money in the account, you know, and the bank has this, and most banks have an overdraft policy. They'll let you get a couple of overdrafts, and they charge you usually $30 to $45 per overdraft fee, because it's basically when you overdraw your account and you don't have money in your account, that's a free loan. You're getting money from the bank, is giving you money that you don't have to pay your bills, and they're charging you an interest on that. It's perfectly legal. All the banks I've worked for do it, and the banks I've banked with do it. And they can't just give you money. You've got to pay for that money. And this lady doesn't understand any of this.
Okay, well, then that's an authorization. Whenever you set it up, that was you authorizing the transaction. So we can definitely explore our possibilities today. Let me take a look at the account. How much are you short?
$10. So, like, it really shouldn't be a big deal to, like, just hold it off until, I don't know, until I get paid.
So she wants the bank to stop the payment so she doesn't overdraw her account, get charged a $30 overdraft fee. And she figures it's no big deal because it's just $10 that she's short by to make her car note. So she wants them just to not allow the payment to come out, which they can't do. Because it's an obligation, it's a contractual agreement between her and the auto dealer and the bank that she's banking with, that she owns the loan to. It's never, the rationale behind her thought process is totally off the wall.
Okay. Have you contacted the financial institution that your car loan is through to see if they could stop the payment?
Yeah, and they said it's too late. Like, it's coming out tonight. That's why I'm calling you.
Yeah, the day of. Why would she wait till the day of? And most people don't pay attention to their banks. They don't pay attention to bank statements or anything.
Okay. So we can issue a stop payment on it. It will be a $20 fee for us to issue a stop payment, but that would be a little bit less than the $30 fee.
So that would save her like $20, but still, she's trying to get away with not having enough money in her account, which doesn't work.
$20? I don't understand. You're the reason my kids aren't getting Christmas presents.
Oh yeah. People do this too. They throw that in your face. They throw in the face that their babies aren't going to get Christmas presents or Easter baskets or, I don't know, golden menorahs or something. I don't know. People come up with all kinds of ways to guilt trip you in doing this, but you know, it has nothing to do with this bank that he works at. She made an agreement with a lending company that gave her the car note so she could buy the car that she has. And she should have called them a week or two. I bet you if she had called them a week or two ahead of time, they may have worked with her one time. They'll be lenient as long if they'll look at your record and they'll say, hey, you've made all your car payments on time for 2 years. We can let this one go, but if it happens again, we can't stop it. But she's now throwing the guilt trip on this guy.
I'm so sorry about that, ma'am.
You hear that, Billy? You hear that? Just stop it. Like, I don't understand why we can't just push it back.
Because you authorized the transaction for this date. So they are going to try to take the money tonight. If the money's not available, it's going to charge you a $30 fee, and then they are allowed to retry that transaction up to 3 times. So you could inevitably get 3 fees if we don't issue the stop payment.
Yeah. So every time there's an overdraft, if the lending institution attempts to overdraft the account multiple times in a 72-hour time frame, you could see three $30 overdraft fees totaling $90. And people go freaking crazy about this.
How would you like to proceed? The other option is for you to go to the branch and deposit the $10 so the transaction goes through.
You're so inconsiderate. You know what? This call is pointless.
Hello?
So people are just, they're totally lost. Most people, your average person that calls in these call centers, when you work in a call center, you find out quickly how uneducated the average American is. How they do not have any grasp or comprehension of basic math or they don't have any critical thinking skills. They just think because it's Christmas time and because it's just $10, that you're supposed to just let this go and stop it. But the bank has no power. They have no legal right to stop the transaction or put it on hold. The transaction was initiated between her and her bank, and the only people that can stop that transaction is the lending institution that gave her the car note. It's crazy.
You need to stop talking.
So what's this say? When you're monitoring calls and your CSR makes you proud.
You need to stop talking and let me finish speaking, and then you can speak when you are spoken to. Unlike you, sir, I know the policies here. I said I cannot transfer any funds because I cannot find your account.
I don't know how you could be proud of this. There's no way I would ever commend somebody for speaking to a customer like this. As much as we all dislike working with customers, sorry, I just kicked my camera. There's no way I would commend somebody for talking to somebody like this.
I gave you my account.
Your account is not on file. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to hang up. Goodbye.
Here's one. She's just summarizing something that just happened to her on the phone.
Not make this shit up. So I'm sitting here at work on the phone. Guy calls in, saying that we took money from his social security. Like, okay, whatever. What's your social? Gives it to me. Pull him up. Ask for his name and address like I'm supposed to. And he says a name and an address, and the address is correct. But the name, I was like, okay, I'm like, what's your name again? And he's like, Flower Power.
Flower Power, dude. Like, really?
I'm like, well, did you ever go by any other names? Like, your birth name, your legal name? He's like, my name is Flower Power. I'm like, well, unfortunately, that's not the name that I have listed. He's like, oh, you want my slave name?
Oh, Jesus, help us all, please, Lord. Please, God, help us all with all these weird freaking people.
But how do I respond to that? Like, how?
I don't know. His slave name. When assuming he's African American, why would a white person wouldn't say that unless you think that the name given to you, regardless of your age or your race, is your slave name? And what the hell kind of fucking planet does this guy live on? Yeah.
No.
She's cute too. I never saw cute girls like this. Now I've got to go find where the cute girls are working in the call centers. It leaves me something to look at while I'm talking on the phones.
What the actual fuck?
I don't know, man. So that's some real interactions and real calls from people that actually work in call centers or have worked in call centers. And I'm telling you, man, it's grueling. It's a grueling environment to work in, and you meet all kinds. You meet all kinds of people that work alongside you, and you talk to all kinds of people on the phone, and people of all walks of life with all kinds of attitudes and emotional issues and delusions and grandeurs of delusion, or delusions of grandeur. My dyslexia is kicking in. And it's a rough environment to work in, and I would advise, if you've never worked in a call center, don't. You're going to be treated just as bad, if not worse, like as if you worked in fast food or in a restaurant. It's really rough. It's really rough. If you're not accustomed to being sworn at and told you're a dirty, filthy pig and you're a pickle sucker, and your mother was a hamster, and your grandmother smelled of elderberries, you're not going to make it. You know, if you're just not that kind of person, if you're very sensitive man or woman, you won't last. It'll chew you up and spit you out as fast as it possibly can. So I just want to show you a little bit of those. These are not my videos. This is all people on TikTok that I record. I hope you like this. If you like my videos, give me the thumbs up, subscribe, tell everybody about it. Have a great day, everyone. Auf Wiedersehen.
Would you like fries with that? Would you like fries with that?